Hi everyone, welcome. Have you ever had a great idea? Maybe you wanted to learn English every day. Maybe you dreamed of starting a business. Maybe you planned to get healthier, read more books, or change your life. For a moment, you felt excited. You imagined a better future. But days passed, then weeks, then months, and nothing changed. The idea stayed in your mind, but it never became part of your life. This happens to almost everyone. The world is full of people with brilliant ideas, but only a few people turn those ideas into reality. Why? Because an idea by itself has no power. A dream written in a notebook is still only a dream. A goal saved on your phone is still only a goal. A plan in your mind changes nothing until you begin to act. Imagine holding a map that shows the way to a beautiful city. The map is helpful. It tells you where to go. But if you never take the first step, you will never reach your destination. The map is not enough. You have to start walking. Life works the same way. Ideas can show you the direction. Only action can take you there. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment. They say, "I'll start tomorrow. I'll begin when I have more time. I'll do it when I feel ready." But tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And one day, they realize they have spent more time thinking than doing. Successful people are not successful because they have better ideas. Very often, they simply take action while others are still making plans. They understand one important truth. Small action is always more powerful than perfect intention. The first step may feel small. It may even seem unimportant. But every great achievement begins with one simple action. Every book begins with one sentence. Every journey begins with one step. Every strong tree begins as a tiny seed. Your future is built in exactly the same way. Today, we will explore 6 powerful lessons that can help you turn your ideas into action. These lessons are simple, they are practical, and they can change not only the way you learn English, but also the way you live your life. Because in the end, your ideas do not define your future. Your actions do. So, if you are ready to stop dreaming and start doing, let's begin with the first lesson. Every great achievement begins with action. Principle 1. Every great achievement begins with action. Every success story begins with a simple decision. The decision to start. Not next week, not next month. Today. Many people believe successful people are special. They think successful people are smarter, luckier, or more talented. But often, the biggest difference is much simpler. They take action. While others are still thinking, they begin moving. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain. The top looks very far away. You may feel afraid. You may wonder if you are strong enough. If you keep looking at the top, you might never begin. But what happens if you take just one step? Then another. And another. Little by little, you move closer to the top. You do not reach the mountain by thinking about climbing. You reach it by climbing. Life works the same way. Every great achievement starts with one small action. Think about learning English. Many people spend hours searching for the perfect course, the perfect teacher, the perfect app, the perfect study plan. But while they are searching, they are not learning. Another person chooses one lesson and starts today. Maybe they only study for 20 minutes. Maybe they learn 5 new words. Maybe they read one short story. It does not seem like much, but they are moving forward. 1 month later, they know more English. 6 months later, they speak with more confidence. 1 year later, people wonder how they improved so much. The answer is simple. They started. Action creates progress. Progress creates motivation. And motivation makes it easier to keep going. Many people believe they need motivation before they act. In reality, action often comes first. The more you do, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the easier it is to continue. Do not worry about making the perfect first step. There is no perfect beginning. Every successful person has made mistakes. Every expert was once a beginner. What matters is not how perfectly you start. What matters is that you start. Remember, a seed does not become a tree overnight. It grows little by little, day after day. The same is true for your dreams. Every small action is like watering that seed. One day you will look back and realize that your success was not built in one big moment. It was built through hundreds of small actions that seemed unimportant at the time. So, stop asking yourself, "Am I ready?" Instead, ask, "What is one small action I can take today?" That one action may seem small, but it could become the beginning of a completely different future. Because every great achievement is created the same way. One action, one step, one day at a time. And once you understand the power of taking the first step, you are ready for the next lesson. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Principle 2. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Have you ever told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow"? "I'll begin when I have more time." "I'll wait until I feel ready." These words sound reasonable, but they often become excuses. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment. The problem is that the perfect moment rarely comes. Life is never completely easy. There will always be another problem to solve, another responsibility, another reason to wait. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, you may wait forever. Imagine a farmer who wants to plant a tree. Every morning he looks at the sky. Maybe tomorrow the weather will be better. The next day he says the same thing. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Meanwhile, another farmer plants his tree. He knows the weather is not perfect, but he also knows that the tree cannot grow until it is planted. A year later, one farmer has a strong young tree. The other still has only plans. Life works the same way. Success belongs to the people who begin, not to the people who keep waiting. Think about learning English. Some learners say, "I'll start when I find the perfect course." Others say, "I'll study when I have more free time." Some even say, "I'll speak English after I know enough vocabulary." But if you wait until you know everything, you will never start speaking. The best way to improve English is to use the English you already know. One simple sentence today is more valuable than 100 perfect sentences that are never spoken. The truth is, you do not become ready before you begin. You become ready because you begin. Every action teaches you something new. Every mistake makes you a little wiser. Every challenge makes you a little stronger. That is how confidence grows, not by waiting, but by doing. Ask yourself, what am I waiting for? Is it really the right time? Or is it fear hiding behind another excuse? Fear often wears the clothes of preparation. It tells you to learn a little more, plan a little longer, wait a little longer. But deep inside, you already know what you need to do. You simply need the courage to begin. Remember, no successful person started with perfect conditions. They started with what they had. They used the time they had, the knowledge they had, the skills they had. Then they improved along the way. You can do the same. Start with one lesson, one page, one conversation. One small action today is worth more than 1,000 promises about tomorrow. Because tomorrow is only a possibility. Today is your opportunity. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Take this moment and make it the perfect beginning. Because once you stop waiting, you will discover one of life's greatest secrets. Small actions, repeated every day, are far more powerful than the biggest ideas left undone. Principle 3. Small actions beat big ideas. Many people believe success comes from having a brilliant idea. But history tells a different story. Great ideas are valuable, yet an idea without action is only imagination. What truly changes a life is not one big idea. It is many small actions repeated over time. Imagine building a house. You do not finish it in one day. You lay one brick, then another, and another. Each brick seems small. By itself, it does not look important. But after hundreds of bricks, a strong house begins to appear. Success is built the same way. One small action may not change your life today, but it changes the direction of your life. And direction is more important than speed. Think about learning English. Many learners dream of speaking fluently. The dream is exciting. But fluency is not built in one weekend. It is built one lesson at a time. One new word, one short story, one listening practice, one conversation. These actions may seem too small to matter, but they matter more than you think. Imagine two people. The first person studies English for 15 minutes every day. The second person studies for 5 hours once a month. Who do you think will improve faster? Most likely, the first person. Because learning is not about doing a lot once. It is about doing a little again and again. Small actions create consistency. Consistency creates progress. And progress creates success. Think about climbing a staircase. You do not jump to the top in one move. You climb one step, then another. If you keep climbing, you will eventually reach the top. But if you only stand there thinking about the stairs, you will never move higher. Life follows the same principle. Your future is shaped by what you do every day, not by what you plan once in a while. Many people fail because they expect huge results from one big effort. When those results do not come quickly, they become discouraged. Then they quit. Successful people think differently. They trust the process. They understand that small improvements become big changes over time. Every page you read, every workout you finish, every kind word you speak, every English lesson you complete. These small actions are never wasted. They are like drops of water filling a bucket. One drop seems meaningless, but thousands of drops can fill the entire bucket. Your daily actions work the same way. Never underestimate the power of doing something small today. A small action may not impress other people, but it builds discipline. It builds character. And most importantly, it builds momentum. Momentum makes tomorrow's action easier than today's. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now? Do not worry about changing your whole life today. Just take the next step. Read one page. Learn 5 new words. Write one sentence. Make one phone call. Begin one task. These simple actions may look ordinary, but over weeks, months, and years, they create extraordinary results. Remember, great success is rarely the result of one giant action. It is usually the result of thousands of small actions that people were willing to repeat every single day. Because in the end, small actions will always beat big ideas that are never put into action. And once you understand the power of consistent action, you are ready for the next lesson. Action creates confidence. Principle 4. Action creates confidence. Many people believe they need confidence before they take action. They think, I'll speak English when I feel more confident. I'll start my business when I believe in myself. I'll try something new when I'm no longer afraid. It sounds reasonable. But life teaches us a different lesson. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence is the result of action. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. The first time, the child feels nervous. The bicycle shakes. The child falls, maybe more than once. But with every ride, something changes. The child becomes a little more balanced, a little more comfortable, a little more confident. The confidence did not appear before the first ride. It was built because the child kept riding. The same thing happens in every area of life. Think about learning English. The first time you speak with someone in English, you may feel embarrassed. You worry about your grammar. You worry about your pronunciation. You worry about making mistakes. So your heart beats faster. Your voice becomes quieter. You may even want to stop talking. But if you continue speaking, something amazing happens. Each conversation becomes a little easier. Each mistake teaches you something new. Each success, even a small one, gives you more confidence. One day you realize that you are speaking naturally, not because you were born confident, but because you practiced. Action slowly replaced fear with experience. This is true for almost everything. The first presentation is scary. The second is a little easier. The 10th feels normal. The first job interview is stressful. The next one feels more comfortable. The first difficult decision feels impossible. But after making many decisions, you learn to trust yourself. Experience is the greatest builder of confidence. Thinking cannot replace doing. You cannot become a confident swimmer by reading books about swimming. You must enter the water. You cannot become a confident driver by watching videos. You must sit behind the wheel. And you cannot become a confident English speaker by only listening. At some point, you must open your mouth and speak. Will you make mistakes? Of course, everyone does. But mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are growing. Every mistake is proof that you had the courage to try. And every time you try again, fear becomes a little smaller. Confidence becomes a little stronger. So, stop waiting to feel brave. Take action first. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward even when fear is standing beside you. Ask yourself, what action have I been avoiding because I don't feel confident? Then take one small step today. Speak one sentence. Apply for one opportunity. Start one project. Have one difficult conversation. That single action may feel uncomfortable now, but tomorrow it will become part of your experience. And experience will become confidence. Remember, confidence is not something you find. It is something you build. One action, one challenge, one victory at a time. Because the more you act, the more you believe in yourself. And once you believe in yourself, you are ready to discover another powerful truth. The best way to learn is not by thinking, but by doing. Principle 5. Learn by doing, not just thinking. Knowledge is valuable. Ideas are valuable. Planning is valuable. But none of them can change your life without action. Many people spend years learning. They read books, watch videos, listen to podcasts, take notes, and make detailed plans. Yet their lives stay the same. Why? Because knowing is not the same as doing. Imagine someone who wants to learn how to swim. They buy the best books. They watch hundreds of swimming videos. They learn every swimming technique. They can explain how to float, how to breathe, how to move their arms, but they never enter the water. Will they become a swimmer? Of course not. No amount of knowledge can replace experience. The only way to learn swimming is to get into the water. Life works exactly the same way. You learn by doing. Think about learning English. You can memorize thousands of words. Study grammar every day. Read many textbooks. But if you never speak, if you never listen, if you never make mistakes, your English will never reach its full potential. Real learning begins when you use what you know. The first conversation may feel difficult. You may forget words. You may pronounce something incorrectly. You may stop in the middle of a sentence. That is completely normal. Every mistake is part of the learning process. In fact, mistakes are some of the best teachers you will ever have. They show you exactly what you need to improve. A person who practices every day will usually improve faster than someone who only studies theories. Because experience teaches lessons that books cannot. Experience teaches timing. Experience teaches confidence. Experience teaches wisdom. That is why successful people are lifelong learners. But they are also lifelong doers. They do not wait until they know everything. They learn something. Then they apply it. They learn again. Then they improve. This cycle never ends. Learn, do, improve, repeat. That simple habit creates extraordinary results. Think about riding a bicycle. No one learns by reading instructions alone. You learn by getting on the bicycle. You lose your balance. You try again. Little by little, your body remembers what to do. Soon, riding becomes natural. The same thing happens with every valuable skill. Writing, cooking, driving, speaking English, leading people, solving problems. All of them become easier through practice, not through endless thinking. Ask yourself, what knowledge have I been collecting without using? Maybe you already know enough to begin. Maybe you have been preparing for too long. Today is a good day to turn your knowledge into action. Read one page, then apply one lesson. Learn one new English word, then use it in a sentence. Watch one lesson, then practice speaking out loud. The smallest action will teach you more than hours of thinking. Remember, knowledge opens the door, but action is what helps you walk through it. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who know the most. They are the ones who use what they know. Because ideas can inspire you, knowledge can guide you, but only action can transform your life. And when action becomes something you do every day, it is no longer just an action. It becomes a habit. That is the final lesson we will explore together. Principle 6. Turn action into daily habits. Taking action once is a good beginning. But taking action every day is what changes your life. Many people rely on motivation. They feel excited for a few days. They work hard. Then life becomes busy. The excitement disappears. And they stop. This happens because motivation comes and goes. Habits stay. A habit is something you do without thinking too much. You brush your teeth every day. You lock your door before leaving home. You do these things because they have become part of your daily life. Imagine if learning English became the same. You would not ask, "Should I study today?" You would simply study. Just as you brush your teeth, you would practice English. That is the power of habit. Successful people do not depend on feeling motivated every morning. They build routines that help them move forward, even on difficult days. Think about planting a small tree. You do not water it once and expect it to become tall. You water it again and again, day after day. Some days you see no change, but beneath the ground, the roots are growing stronger. Then one day, the tree begins to grow quickly. Your habits work in the same way. The results may be invisible at first, but every small action is making you stronger. Think about learning English, reading one page every day, learning 5 new words, listening to 10 minutes of English, speaking one sentence out loud. None of these actions seems impressive by itself. But after 1 year, they become hundreds of pages, thousands of new words, and many hours of practice. That is how fluency is built. Not through one big effort, but through small habits repeated every day. Another important lesson is this. Do not try to change your entire life overnight. Start with one habit. Make it simple. Make it realistic. When that habit becomes easy, add another one. Small habits grow into a successful lifestyle. Ask yourself, what is one action I can turn into a daily habit? Maybe it is reading for 10 minutes. Maybe it is listening to an English story every evening. Maybe it is writing 3 English sentences before going to bed. Choose one habit. Protect it. Repeat it every day. Remember, your future is not created by what you do once. It is created by what you do consistently. Ideas may inspire you. Actions move you forward. But habits determine where you finally arrive. One day you will look back and realize that your success did not come from one extraordinary decision. It came from ordinary actions that you repeated with extraordinary consistency. Because when action becomes a habit, success is no longer something you hope for. It becomes the natural result of the life you choose to live. And that is why the greatest investment you can make is not in a single idea, It is in the daily habits that turn your ideas into reality. Today, we discovered one simple truth that can change your life. An idea without action is nothing. Ideas are important. Dreams are important. Goals are important. But they only have value when you decide to act. Let's remember the 6 lessons we learned today. Every great achievement begins with action. Do not wait for the perfect moment because it may never come. Small actions, repeated every day, are more powerful than big ideas that are never used. Action creates confidence. The more you do, the more you believe in yourself. Real learning happens by doing, not just by thinking. And when your actions become daily habits, success is no longer an accident. It becomes your lifestyle. Think about your own life. What dream have you been waiting to start? What idea has been sitting in your notebook? What goal have you promised yourself for months or even years? Maybe today is the day to stop waiting. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need perfect confidence. You do not need perfect conditions. You only need one small action. Remember, every successful person was once a beginner. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every great journey started with a single step. Your future will not change because you had a wonderful idea. It will change because you decided to act on it. The same is true for learning English. You will not become fluent by wishing. You will not become fluent by watching videos alone. You become fluent by listening every day, speaking every day, making mistakes every day, and learning from those mistakes every day. One lesson may not seem important. One page may not seem enough. One conversation may not seem like progress. But over time, those small actions create extraordinary results. Never underestimate what you can achieve through consistency. One day you will look back and realize that the life you dreamed about was built one action at a time. So, before this video ends, ask yourself one simple question. What is one action I will take today? Then don't just think about the answer. Do it. Right after this video. Thank you for learning English with us today. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a little encouragement to take the first step. Keep learning. Keep taking action. Keep believing in yourself, because your ideas can inspire your future. But your actions create it. See you in the next lesson.